Becca and Ashley today. It's the final, I can't believe it's the final part of the Scythe Along. So we're doing The Toll by Neal Shusterman. What did you guys rate the book? Same.
Hey!
My rating went up from last month.
This is true.
Yeah. Oh my god. So I think we all had the same thing where the second one was our least favorite. Is that right?
Mine was.
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check Core Pile to see which one got a slightly lower rating. Because
you two rated them all 5 stars, didn't you? Whereas
I technically rated the first one 4.5, but now that I think back on it, it's definitely 5. Because I think the first one's definitely my favorite, then this one, and then the second one.
Yeah.
Thunderhead and Toll both got exactly 9 on Core Pile, so they both only just got a 5-star. Whereas I think Scythe for me was like a very high 5 or something. Oh no, Scythe was Scythe was 9.14 on Core Pile, so it was just slightly higher.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mine was just 5-star for Scythe, 4-star for Thunderhead, 5-star again for The Toll. So obviously my least favourite was book number 2.
Yeah.
Because that was so close to getting a 3-star. I was surprised though, because we all know I really, really hated Grayson in book 2.
We know.
I liked Grayson in
I was actually going to ask you that.
Yes.
I was really, sorry, can't join in tonight, guys. She didn't get rid of time. That's okay. Don't worry. You can always watch it after.
This should be up for a while after.
Yeah, definitely. Well, hope you enjoy the rest of it anyway. I
actually liked Grayson.
I actually was dying to ask you that.
I think it's because he actually seemed to have a personality in this one.
Yeah.
He definitely did. Yeah.
There was some good character development with him.
He was just so boring to me. Like, there was no personality from him in book 2. But book 3, he had that personality, which made him a lot more likable.
He was so much better. Oh my god. I mean, the book is named after him, so...
I did like the new characters as well that we got, though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they were awesome. I loved Jerry. Is it name Jerry?
Yes, I loved Jerry.
They were amazing. I loved Jericho. And then, what's the other one? Loriana was cool as well.
Yeah, I like Loriana.
Yeah.
Especially as the book went on and we actually got to know her a bit better as well.
Yeah, I actually wanted more of her. Like, she wasn't in it that much, but when she was in it, I just loved her.
So I started to get really annoyed with, what's her name? The one that went there with Faraday.
Manera.
Yeah, I liked her in book 2, but in this one, she just really annoyed me.
I thought she was fine, but what surprised me was, like, when I was reading book 2, I didn't get any hint of romance between those two at all. Like, I think of Manera as, like, young 20s, and I thought Faraday was much older. So when they kind of hinted at, like, a romance in this one, I was like, wait, what? I was not expecting that at all.
I didn't even pick up on the hint of romance between them. I just thought it was, like, platonic.
They kind of
I felt like it was sort of shut down, though. Like, it was hinted at, but then it was shut down very quickly.
Yeah, it definitely didn't turn into anything. But even, like, the little, like... I think it was kind of more towards the start. They were saying... I can't remember what exactly they said.
Yeah, it was because they were stuck there or something. And it was hope you don't fall for me. But I always just thought it was like a jokingly platonic friendship sort of banter.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like a serious...
Hopefully not.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did Manera annoy you, though?
I think it was just because she just kept nagging Faraday. And I was just like...
He needed it, though.
Yeah, he did need it.
He did, but like she just came across annoying. And then like the way she was with, because she wasn't even with Faraday for most of it, and she wasn't with like the Nimbus agents, like the old ones. So she was kind of in this middle section where she was just kind of annoying everybody to try and find out something. And I was just like, I
felt kind of sorry for her with that though.
Yeah,
because she didn't really have a place.
Yeah.
After Faraday decided, like, no, I want to be on my own.
Yeah.
Like, he did go into complete switch down mode the moment that he found out about
that was heartbreaking when he found out. Oh,
that broke me.
Yeah. Oh,
I cried so much at this book.
Did you?
I didn't cry at all.
Really?
No. I felt
Just
sad though.
But I thought it was really nice seeing more from the different sections though.
Yeah.
Like we saw that Texas was like, nope, you're not getting Goddard in our area. We're not allowing Scythes except the ones that are already here.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked that. I was like, good for them. They're actually standing up for what they believe in. Because everyone else just kind of go to Goddard like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And like Constantine, like deviating as well. I was like, I knew it had happened, but I didn't think it had happened that quickly.
I like the fact that he essentially helped protect Rowan at the end. Yeah. He was like, you're not getting him. No. Like after everything. I loved Constantine, but I wish he was in it more.
Yeah, he wasn't in it that much really.
Yeah, he was in book 2 more.
Definitely. Yeah.
But I think it's because Goddard was trying to shut him down so much though, because of him being for Curie, and then obviously Curie was gone.
Her so much
like,
in this one.
He'd be my third underside as like a punishment, and then we didn't get much of him because he was so shut down in comparison.
I really missed Curie in this one. Like, it just wasn't the same. It was still amazing.
So book 4 coming out next year.
I know.
I'm so excited. I can't believe we're getting a book 4.
It's called The Gleanings, but I think it's just like past stories, like mini stories.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be more a 0.5 rather than a 4. Yeah. It's like a little novella thing of short stories.
I don't think it's a novella though, because it's meant to have like 10 different short stories in it.
Wow.
It will probably still count as a novella though, because
maybe
it's not going to be part of the main arc of the story.
Oh, me too.
I think it'll be like a 0.5 as you said, but I think it's going to still be a good 300-page book if it's got like 10.
Oh yeah,
probably. So, I'm looking forward to it. Actually, is there a release date? Like even a year?
It just says fall next year.
Oh, okay, so it is next year.
It's like a whole year away.
Yeah.
Yay!
So don't worry,
we'll see you back here this time next year.
Yeah.
I'll be like Arc of the Scythe Part 2. You're back. But yeah, what did you guys think of what's his name?
Pozuelo?
No.
Morrison.
Oh, Morrison!
I Morrison.
Really loved him in this one. Oh my god, he was
considering he was just so annoying in the second book, in that tiny little bit he was in.
You guys didn't like him in book 2, whereas I did. Whereas I didn't like Grayson, and you guys weren't that fussed on him. So it was like a complete switch around. But I really liked him in this one.
I love the scene, where he gets hired as the pastry chef and like he's in the kitchen and him and Grayson. I was like, that is so good. That was one of my favorite parts of the book. It was just
also with that scene where the Thunderhead obviously couldn't warn him because it was to do with Scythe, but he subtly warned him, and I was like, this is genius. Brilliant. I loved how they did that.
Yeah.
I love he's like, no, they told you the Thunderhead's usually annoying me, but it's very silent.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Like, love that. But I did also like the fact as well that like he decided, he's going to protect the Toll, but then he found so much pleasure from that, and he genuinely just found his place, and I was so happy for him.
Aww.
And I liked how his story ended as well at the end, with him ending up on one of the ships and him being like, I'm Jim, no, I'm Joel. I was like, oh.
Do you guys think that he actually ended up with that woman? Like, I can't remember what her name is, but the one that he was like holding hands with.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I feel like that was more for just the comfort thing.
Could be. Yeah.
But you never know what would have happened, because I mean it was going to take them how many years to get to like whatever planet they were going to.
117, I think.
Yeah. Like that, so it's like, that's a long time.
Speaking of the ending of the book, when Rowan decided to stay alive that whole time, but he would not return back the clock until he was back with Citra. And then when he was like, it's not been that long, and I was just there like,
just been a moment. I was like, oh, stop it.
That really did nearly make me cry.
See, you guys were like, no, from the beginning with them, and I was just there like, I love it, and I'm just there
now
like,
I love
I'm so happy.
To be fair, in the first one, it felt really forced, but then as the series went on, it didn't feel as forced, which is when I started growing on it.
Yeah.
Whereas I found it more because the circumstances were the same. They were going through the same things. They more connected.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys like, it's more insta love. Whereas I was like, is it though? When it's more, they're going through the same thing at the same time. They're really understanding each other more than anyone else could. Yeah. So I saw more from that side of things.
Yeah.
I was just so happy when they finally reunited in this one. I was like, thank God. It's like nearly the end and they're only meeting now.
The ending where like, you know, like Citra gets to the island and Faraday runs at her.
Oh my God.
I was crying. And then Rowan turns up. I was crying.
I felt sorry on the girl. I felt sorry on the other girl though, the one who went there with Faraday and he didn't even bother to tell her. And he just went and just opened the thing and found out everything.
That was really bad.
Yeah. It was hard. Like he could have spent 2 minutes to be like, let's go get her.
But to be fair, Scythes can be brutal. Like, and that's obviously like Faraday just has no like, I can't think of the word, but like he just didn't think of something like that.
Yeah.
To just like go and be like, oh, hey, by the way.
He's more overjoyed about Citra being alive more than anything. He thought she was dead, 3 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rowan came back and I was just like, oh my God. And when she was just like, no, I don't want the ring or anything. I just want Rowan. And I was just there like, yes.
So emotional.
I was like,
neither of them wanted to be Scythes in the first place.
That's
like when they were first picked to be apprentices.
Yeah.
But I loved how it ended. It was just such a good ending. And with the rings.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I did not see that coming.
No,
I was like,
it was a shock.
What is happening right now?
I love the fact that everyone said the Tonists were crazy, but the first Scythes made the Tonists essentially give them everything they needed to shut it down. And I was just there like, that was clever. That was so clever to be like, you know what, no one's going to believe them, but if they delve deep enough, they're going to know how to shut this all down. And it was like a fork that would break the rings.
So
and then it was like an A sharp or something at the end, and I was like, yes, like they wrapped that together so well. And I said something had to be with the Tonists, and it was.
Oh yeah, it was so well done. Like, wow.
And then the diseases at the end as well.
Yeah.
Just every 7 years, like people would die, and then I just thought that was such a good way.
That was genius.
Well.
Yeah.
And I liked how Scythes like Faraday did sympathy gleanings.
That's so good.
I was like, that's just like such a Faraday thing to do as well.
That made me think of Curie. I was like, that seems to me like something Curie would really do.
She definitely would have done. Yeah, for sure. Oh, I love those two.
It makes you think though, like if Curie hadn't died, would her and Faraday have ended up together like properly?
Yes, I hope so.
At the end, when Scythes were no longer a thing, and it's just like that made me sad all over again.
Yeah, they probably would have. Oh, that's really sad. I didn't even really think about that.
You
didn't cry during the book, but I'm going to make you cry now.
We're just there, just like, we love this book. I'm like so sad the trilogy's over. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, what do I do?
It was such a good trilogy, though.
Do I reread it? Restart it?
Why not?
Just like, I don't want to let go yet. I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. It's too sad. I love it.
I'm used to my series last to be years and years before I finish it, not 15 months.
Do you know what I did like that? You know is it Tenkaminen?
Oh yeah, Tenkaminen or something. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Tenka, anyway.
I really liked how he sort of like took inspiration from Anastasia with his gleanings.
Yeah.
Like just all the different ways they do gleanings. Like I feel like Goddard's way was just so boring and not really. It was just like, we're just gonna go mass glean some people.
Exactly.
Whereas like people like Anastasia and even Rowan when he was Scythe Lucifer, like they would think about it, and there was always a way to do it, and it was just so cleverly done.
Yeah.
I did think though that like he seemed such a weird character to begin with.
I didn't like him.
I didn't like him to begin with, and then once I started realizing he was kind of acting more happy and just out of luck, and then like you find out about his parents being tonists, and like how seriously he does actually take his job when he realizes something's wrong, and like that changed from being like, yes, I'm a little bit dippy, to being, no, this needs done now. And I'm like, he's got a good middle. I feel like he's got enough charm and enough charisma to make it so he's having fun with his life, but he knows when to take charge and when he needs to rule over his land.
Yeah. The thing is, I really liked how like it made us, the reader, think how Anastasia was when she first met him, like, and we were thinking like her, and then you actually, looks can be deceiving, and he's actually not like that. It's just a front.
But I think that's good as well, because no one would suspect him of anything.
Yeah.
Which was really good. So the fact that his father warned him, I found was amazing. Yeah. I love the fact he was like, the ball's ringing, he was like, that doesn't seem right. And then he just listened to the tone, and he was like, everyone just shut up for a second. And listened to it, was like, I know that tone, that's my dad. And I love the fact he was still like, I know exactly how my father sounds, even though he can't speak at all, I know that he's warning me. Aww. But I feel like, do you think his father knew stuff was brewing, and so he told him essentially ahead of time that I'll give you a call if things get too out of hand?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I think like him just like phoning up and warning was the warning, like, because I feel like the tonists who were in charge of doing that wouldn't have told him, because maybe they would have known that he would have gone and warned, you know, his son. Yeah. So I don't think they would have he would have known anything was going to happen until it started.
Yeah.
The fact that they didn't want to be a part of what's happening with his son, though, so took part in a different part of it, I thought was quite, even though it was still bad, I thought it was kind of sweet that they were like, I want nothing to do with you guys trying to take down my son. Like, we'll do something else. We're not doing that. Which I thought was sweet, but I was like, oh, they shouldn't be doing it to begin with. But at least they don't want to take down their son. Like, they still love him, even though he's, again, they're complete polar opposites at this point.
What did you think of Astrid? Remember at the end when she's like in the ship on her own going I was like, oh my god, that poor girl.
It was so funny as well though, because she was like, no, I don't want to do it, blah blah, and it's like, oh, you kind of got no choice now.
I love my first reaction. I literally went outside and was like, ha, and then went, oh. It's like, not even like laughing, just like, ha. Just brutal, like, serves you right.
He was so annoying. Oh my god.
But I reckon if we was to get however long it takes for her to get to that planet, I think if we was to get that side of her, we would see some really good character development.
Probably.
Obviously not enough for a whole book, but like if the book had been longer and gone on further, it would have been really interesting to see what her views were at the end of that journey.
Yeah.
Especially after being alone for so long as well.
Yeah, it's like over 1,000 years or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, with just, what's his name? What's the new one called again?
Cirrus.
Yeah.
Also, I really loved the name, because of like the whole clouds and everything. I was like, oh,
brilliant.
Yes.
What did you guys think about Goddard actually being from Mars, though?
Oh yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, oh my god.
I literally gasped, like, audibly.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? What? Like, that really surprised me. I was like, so he's from Mars. He came down here, changed his name, then essentially helped to blow up his own planet.
I don't think he's from Mars. He went with Xenocrates as his
No.
Is he from Mars?
I didn't think he was either.
I don't think he was.
No, he went from Mars. He got chosen at Mars and then came back with Xenocrates.
Yeah, but I think he was already, like, he had gone to Mars.
I think it was that he's from Mars, and then he went back, and then he saw Xenocrates and was like, no, you know, I'm going to go down to Earth and be an apprentice for Xenocrates. At least that's where I took it. I thought he was from Mars and then
came
down.
I didn't think he was. I don't know.
We're going to have to check this.
Yeah.
It says about, as for Carson Lost, no matter how hard you look, you won't find any record of him after his return to Earth. He changed his name after he returned to Earth, which means he would have come from Earth. Because he was returning to Earth.
I thought he was from there, went with Xenocrates, became an apprentice, went back, helped to destroy it, and then he changed his name. So he wasn't connected to it anymore.
Okay, so he was already on Mars, but he was part of a colony, so they'd already gone over to Mars, colonized Mars, and he was on Mars from that.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And then he's returned to Earth.
And then, and
then he's returned to Earth and changed his name to Goddard.
Yeah, it was definitely on Mars that he started to become an apprentice.
Yeah,
I think that's why
Xenocrates picked him.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Just my brain didn't.
Yeah.
Put it the right way. It was like he was on Mars, but
the only reason I found that was because it's one of the pages I tagged.
That's fair.
But yeah, I was really surprised with that. I was like, oh, so like he's blowing up essentially where he's from. So because if he colonized there, he would have had friends there, family there, all that stuff.
Yeah, true.
So he just decided to kill them all. That sounds very Goddard.
Oh, yeah, it's very relevant to his character.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? You know how we're all like, we don't agree with Goddard. Do you know one thing I found hilarious when he said about only idiots build a wall? And I was like, when was this written? Links to real life. And I was like, I'm agreeing with Goddard on something.
See, I liked Goddard though. I didn't agree with them, but I liked him.
Oh, he was a good character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like he was, especially when they like mass gleaned the stadium.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not shocked, but
when
I
all
am.
the Scythe were surprised by it as well, they were just like, to kill everyone? What?
Because that was a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And I know Goddard was like known for doing mass gleanings, but that was like what, an airplane full of people or a food court full of people, not an entire stadium.
What did you think about his ending?
Oh, I wanted to high five Rand.
She's so cool. I love her.
I was so happy for Rand finally doing that. But the fact that afterwards she went and she got Tiger back.
Yeah, I did not see that coming at all. That was such a shock.
I also cried at that bit.
Did you?
I was like, oh my god, yes!
I was so happy. I really wasn't expecting it. Remember, because she was talking to him at that what's it called, the construct things where she and I was like, that's really sad. But I never thought that he'd actually come back. Oh my god, that was amazing.
I feel like she'd had that planned. She must have had that planned that she would do that.
Yeah.
But she just needed the right opportunity to do it. And she found that opportunity and she did it.
I think she was just like, you know what, I've had enough of Goddard treating me like shit. And she realised how much she really did love Tiger, because she'd go to see him every single time she could and speak to him. And I love the fact it's like, no matter how many times she went there, and if it got too thingy, she'd just kind of reset it so she could speak to him again.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, it was really sad.
She really did love him.
She did.
She didn't think so, but she did.
Yeah.
Oh, Rand was such a cool character. Like book one, she's like nothing. Into the last two books, she was just so cool. She's such a badass.
What did you guys think? You know, in chapter 17 of the book, how it had like the paragraph and then another paragraph this side and then a paragraph over this side, and then it kept going like,
yeah.
What did you guys think of that format? I was not a fan of it.
I was so confused. I had to reread it. I was like,
I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah,
because the thing is, that was the similar setup to when Citra was made deadish in the second verse.
But on that one, you understood that it was it was the Thunderhead and then Citra.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it was the same sort of format, but you didn't know who the other person was.
Yeah, it was so confusing.
But then after that person got Glean, because he got Glean, it still continued with it, and I was like,
that was different. That was different test runs of Cirrus.
Yeah.
No, different bit. Chapter 17 is where they're at the glass dome heist. And you see like the assassination bit, and you see a bit from them, and then part from Goddard.
Chapter 17.
Page is it?
Yeah.
193.
It wasn't the part to do with Cyrus.
I got that. I know what bit.
But the bit that was like about. The glass house part, the assassination part, and then Goddard. I really did not like that format of it.
I don't get that one. I completely forgot about that chapter.
Yeah, so did I actually. Yeah,
I noted it down because I was like, did everyone else not like this as much as me? Because I really did not like that part.
I think. Yeah,
I got the bit with like the Scythe and Thunderhead. Like I got that because like that made sense. But like that one just really confused me because at first you're like, okay, so that's the assassination. That's like who's going to assassinate him. That's Goddard. And then the guy who's going to assassinate him dies, but it continues with the same format. And I was like, I have no idea what's happening anymore.
For like a whole chapter as well.
That was weird. Yeah, I didn't really understand.
Yeah, then it sort of like went on to like being Rand.
Yeah.
It just with like no warning. It just wait.
Yeah.
And then it went back to normal the chapter after, and I was like, what? I'm so confused as to what's just happened.
Weird. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I sort of must have removed that chapter.
Like I get the bit of Cyrus and then the Thunderhead. Like I got that bit.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's the same. It's a similar format. That's why I thought you meant that bit.
No,
but yeah, it doesn't make sense.
That one just really confused me. I didn't understand what the point of that was. I would have understood if it was like the end of the chapter was when the guy had been assassinated and you saw both sides. And that would have made sense to me. But because he died and then he continued with the format, I was like, I'm very confused now because it just seems like that's not how it should be going.
Yeah.
Like it should have been that, okay, we'll go back to normal now that he's dead because you've not got that thing. But instead they just made it Rand. But out of nowhere. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know why he did that.
I don't like
that. There's no mention of it again later on, which is why it was so confusing.
Other fact, I'm like, I didn't like it. No. It was like my first note thing I put down. I was like, chapter 17. What is this?
I just completely tuned that out, I think.
Yeah, same. You know the bit where they was like basically not threatening, but threatening Rowan's family if he didn't help them.
Yeah.
We never actually found out if they actually did have his family or not.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
I never thought about that.
So what I do, I tab as I go, and then I go back through all the tabs and make the notes on my tabs. Right. And when I was going through and making the notes, I'd actually, on that post-it note, usually I just put the note, that tabs in, but I actually put like a question mark on it because I was like, yeah, I have no idea. Because it's literally just like saying about the family, and there's no answers later on in the book on whether they did actually have his family and would have hurt his family.
Because I think they would have wanted to get out of Mid-America due to Goddard being in charge and everything, and knowing that he was basically trying to kill Rowan. Like after that, I think they would have tried to escape to the closest other colony. So that would have been Texas. So I think they would have had his family, but I don't think they would have hurt them.
I like to think they wouldn't have hurt them.
I'm not
I don't think they would have. I think they would just be like,
pretty offended. Yeah, they seemed pretty offended that Rowan would think they would as well.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm, because that's the sort of thing Goddard would do. I mean, it was proved that when they killed Rowan's dad in the second one, like it was proved that they're the sort of people that would do that. But I don't think they would have. But like, we never got the actual answer.
I mean,
I never thought of that. That's really annoying now.
But Texas seemed like a really not safe state, but like they seem to approve more of the rules. So I feel like they wouldn't have just singled out as family member by member by member the same way as Goddard would have.
Yeah.
So I think they would be like, we do have your family and we can protect them, but if you don't help us, we might just stop giving them as much protection as we can now.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like a formal, like, we're going to kill them. I think it was just, we will stop protecting them as much as we are right now, because we know if you're here, that means Anastasia's somewhere. So.
But yeah, it was frustrating we never actually fully got an answer on what happened to his family.
Yeah.
And also, another one of my notes, Grayson and Jerry.
I was just about to say that.
Finding out where the island was because of like narrowing down the questions that Thunderhead would answer.
So
How
good.
Genius is that?
Brilliant. I love it. I love that too, actually.
I love that Grayson actually found love though.
Yeah.
Like,
he deserves it.
Like, they seem so similar as well.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So, the fact that the Thunderhead put itself into Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not happy.
No,
I was not happy about that.
It's a violation. I was so annoyed.
I'm glad that Grayson got so annoyed about the Thunderhead doing that as well, and it wasn't just brushed off. Like, Grayson made sure the Thunderhead knew that that was not okay for them to do that.
The fact that he went, you are now unsafe, what's the word?
Unsavory.
Yeah. You're not unsavory. Smash the thing. It was like, you'll only get back when you turn on for everyone else. I was like, oh. But the Thunderhead understood what had happened, and it understood why it was being punished. And I liked that the Thunderhead was like, you know what? I did screw up. Like, I take full responsibility. But without that, we wouldn't have had Cyrus. So, like...
Yeah,
true. That's true.
Kind of needed, but still...
Cyrus was already starting to happen, though. Like,
that's all.
Yeah. Like I think that was the final step, because obviously all those in between chapter things was the Thunderhead trying to figure out how to make Cyrus work.
Yeah.
And then it took that, even though that shouldn't have happened, because poor Jerry, and poor Grayson, to be honest, as well.
Yeah.
But it took that for Thunderhead to realise what it needed to do for Cyrus to work. So I'm torn whether like it was a good or bad thing. Like I feel like it was a bit of both. Because it shouldn't have happened, but if it hadn't have happened, Cyrus wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. But she might have literally just said yes if it had asked, you know?
Yeah.
That's all.
That's what I was more annoyed at, the fact they just violated. I feel like if they're being like... But then at the same time, they couldn't speak to them because they're still classed as unsavory.
Well, could have asked Grayson to ask.
Yeah, could have gone for Grayson.
Grayson, we need your help. Can you just... But the fact that somebody started watching him and was like being like really lovey with him, and I was like, what would happen? Like, is the Thunderhead creepy? Like,
I feel like the Thunderhead got a bit not lonely, but I think the Thunderhead sort of attached itself to Grayson because it had attached itself to Grayson and would only talk to Grayson. So then Grayson become like its whole world.
Yeah.
Literally.
It was just kind of a bit like, okay.
It was creepy.
The Thunderhead did start to seem more like
creepy,
human as it went on, though.
Just really creepy. To me, it was like this like stalker character after a while, and I was like, like watching them sleep, like, yes, I'm going to turn into Jerry, and then I'm going to try and kiss you and stuff. Like, yes, I was like, no. I did like you right now. No. That's just creepy. There's the rules for AI. Don't screw with them. Just don't screw with them.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm looking through my notes.
Yes,
so many.
The implanting the gleaned to find a way around the Scythe's rule of like once they're gleaned. But if they're implanted with somewhat like a different person's memories, then it's no longer the person that was gleaned. That was genius.
Genius.
Like,
I like that.
like when the bodies were collected, I was like, well, obviously they're gonna like somehow like bring them back, but then how would they do that? Because there's the rule that they can't interfere with the gleanings. But then that was the way around it, and it was clever.
Very clever. Love it.
This whole book was just genius.
I know, it was just so many plot twists.
Going back to a point that we were talking about the mass stadium gleaning.
Yeah.
Hello. Talking about the mass stadium gleaning, I thought the way that they done fire and stuff, it was kind of inspired by Guy Fawkes.
Oh, okay.
Bonfire.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed to appear to me that way, and I was like, oh. So, like, because the way that they done, like, the actual effigy and things, it seemed very much like how we do bonfire night, and I was like, is that being taken? And he went, that's actually quite a good idea. And it sounds like something he would do, because he is essentially a figure of hope, I guess. Not in a good way, but, like, for those... He's like a... Can't even think the word right now. My brain's not working. Not freedom fighter. What's the actual proper... What's the one word for it?
Vigilante?
That's the word. For, like, strikes and stuff. He's like a vigilante. And so, like, to, like, burn him alive would be like, this is... No. Whereas now it's like... So I just thought it was kind of going along the Guy Fawkes sort of route with that.
Oh, yeah. Probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the different colours of fire the further up went up, though.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good.
And the fact that they put the other guy on it, the guy who kept talking about how nice it would be to see all the fire from where he was. And then it was like, he actually did get to see the fire from where he was.
He was so
Absolute
funny
karma.
for the short amount of time he was in it. He was so funny.
He was like, I love the fact that Rowan was like, I don't want to know this. Thanks.
The fact that Rowan was genuinely like, Rowan was genuinely scared. You know, he's normally kind of making jokes and stuff, but he was just genuinely terrified this time. I was like, oh my god, this is so sad. Even though I knew he was going to be okay, but I was like, no, I can't. This is so sad.
But I wasn't sure whether he would be or not, because I was like, maybe he won't be, and that'll be the thing that turns Citra against him. So I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out at that point.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to die, though.
No, I didn't think he would.
I was kind of like in the middle. I was like, maybe he will. But then I thought, we haven't seen Constantine in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I loved how
Constantine doesn't like the whole way that Goddard is. So I was like, maybe he would try to protect Rowan away from all that. Also, he was spending a lot of time in was it Texas that he was at?
Yeah.
Not the Lone State, so he would have been Texas. He spent a lot of time there.
That was Goddard's fault. Goddard stationed him with that to teach him a lesson, like, oh, you could deal with the most difficult one. And it was like, well, really, you shouldn't have done that, because you've just told him to go against you now.
He was like, oh, like, we're giving you the hardest one against the people who don't want to align themselves with me, but we're going to make you do it. And I'm like, surely you would have put like Rand or someone in charge of it. Or like one of the ones who were actually properly with you, instead of being like, oh, you know what? Well, you don't like me and they don't like me, so you guys can team up. And I was like, what logic went through his head with that? Like,
he's an idiot.
There was no sense in that decision making at all.
I loved how like Rowan was still like pretty like sassy though. Like when like Constantine was there and he was like, oh, pretty unimpressive. And it's like, oh, thanks, I love you too. Like, this is Rowan. I love so Rowan.
He's such a good character, and I just love the fact that he was kind of the same with everyone. He didn't change how he was. He was like, this is me. You're either going to get me the way you like me, or you can hate it, because I'm not changing. He didn't change with Citra, he didn't change with Goddard, or with like the Texans. He was just always him, and I really like that about his character. Whereas you see the other ones change depending who they're with. He was just like, it's me.
So true.
Though I didn't... You know how Jerry was like... I get Jerry was like not transgender, it was like gender fluid. Yeah. But like, I didn't get the whole when it's like a clear versus when it's not. I was like so confused by that. I was like, what? Like,
I mean, I think that was just like Jerry's personal thing. Like the Madagascans all had a different different way. Like, I think because obviously they weren't allowed to decide on their gender until adulthood, and then when they reached adulthood they could choose either or both, and obviously Jerry decided on that was what
I was just so confused by the way that you've done it with the sky. I was like, that's such a strange way to do that.
I thought it was so clever.
I love the way that after everything with Anastasia, he was like, you know what, I'm changing it to the way she said, which is women on land, man at sea. And I like the way he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
No,
I liked their little friendship actually, Citra and Jerry. And I was like, oh.
The fact that Jerry would do anything to protect her, like lied to make sure that he could be closer to protect her after everything, because he was the one who essentially helped her get out of like the island to begin with and out of the vault, to be like, you know what, no, I'm staying with her. Like,
and then again when the place was under attack, and he basically made himself deadish so that a drone would come and get them.
That was such a good part. I loved it.
Like,
that was so clever.
So good. Oh.
I was so confused though when it was like, so like we're not going to tell anyone we're there, which was fair enough. And then straight afterwards I was like, but why is that now okay? Like how did the Scythes not kind of notice, or why are they not now being hunted? Like surely they still would be. Like I don't get it. Like, so like they went away that way, but like they're still being completely hunted by everyone. But they just didn't seem to care. And I was like, oh, okay. It was like straight afterwards, it was like they weren't being hunted anymore. And I was like, I'm very confused why everyone stopped. Like, why has everyone stopped hunting for you now? This makes zero sense.
Could it be because the attention was more on the Tonists? So they was distracted by the whole, like, the Tonists?
Or maybe they thought that they'd been in the fire, like Anastasia was caught in the fire, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like the Tonists doing what they did would be a pretty big distraction, though, and it'd sort of like take you away from that to sort that out, because it's a slightly bigger problem.
That's true. I thought it was kind of good though when we saw the actual island, and like how that guy who was like the Nimbus agent, like being like, no, I'm in charge, I was the most senior, and then at the end being like, actually you go on the ship, I'm going to help everyone get out. And I was like, the final moment was actually giving people that hope and finally having charge of his life for once. I thought that was quite nice.
Was so good. Oh.
So the fact that he made a hotel on this island that no one can go to, why?
Oh, he was so funny.
He was so proud of it as well. He was like, but I made the 5-star hotel, and I'm like, there's only one hotel. Like, okay.
What did you think? What was it? Strider.
My mum's hoovering downstairs.
Oh.
So he's like,
what did you think about Mendoza?
I didn't really know what to think of Mendoza.
He was really annoying the whole
time.
I
kind of like Mendoza, but I was kind of like, I feel like we didn't get enough about her at the same time. I liked the part she was in, and I was like, I did appreciate her, but I kind of wasn't too sure on her either. I was like, this can go either way. Like, depends on how she goes on.
Yeah. I was just glad Grayson didn't let it go to his head when he was the Toll.
Yeah.
He was just still himself. And he was
the fact that he was like, that painter guy was just like, you can just be unsavory and paint things. The Thunderhead's just like, what? Why did you do that? But like, it turned out that the guy actually had a lot of enjoyment from doing that. He gave the right advice, just
he did.
That's true.
Not what the Thunderhead wanted him to do. It makes me wonder what the Thunderhead would have wanted him to do instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously the Thunderhead didn't have an issue with it because he didn't like tell him off for doing it, really. He was just like, why did you do it? Not, why did you do it? He was more curious.
Yeah. What did you guys think about the ones that were in the cave and stuff? And then like, when Grayson went there, he was just like, that's you, that's you, that's you. And then they were like, we'll get our tongues back and everything, just whatever you say. Like, we're good.
That was a clever way of like proving that, you know, he did have connection to the the Thunderhead, because how else would he know all of that?
Hello.
I was so surprised. I was like, I love the fact that he was like, this is you, this is you, this is you. But that other guy who was just so adamant, like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, why? No, like at this point, why? In fact, he was like, no, you had your tongue down under anesthesia. You made everyone else do it without. And I was like, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah. Like, you've been called out.
And even they afterwards were like, nah, we don't like you. And I was like, good. He does not come across as a nice guy.
No.
That was like after the attack, wasn't it? It was the same ones. Once
Yeah, it was the same ones.
Yeah.
After. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I loved it. So, I don't have any more notes.
Yeah, I don't think I do as well. I'm just having a look.
Do you think we might get more of what happened after all the Scythe things, like the planets? Do you think that might be a new series that he might do?
I hope so. I feel like there's more story to tell. You know?
I'm wondering if he'll do a similar thing to what the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard has done, because there is a collection of short stories that was released after the series finished, and I think, if I remember rightly, there was 5 stories. 3 were set before the series, and then 2 were set after the series.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm wondering if this will be a similar thing where, like, some of the short stories will be set before or even during the series, but from different characters that we never saw. And then some will be set after, because I'd quite like to see what happens after.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know if there would be enough for a whole series or a whole book just for that.
Yeah, maybe not.
I would love to see, like, more of who actually managed to get there and how they came.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Who got to the planet?
It'd be nice to have some, even if it's some novellas, really. I think it'd be quite nice to have a bit more of what happened after, because I just want to know more. Yeah. We're not ready to say goodbye.
No, I just want more Citra and Rowan.
I'm really tempted to pick up more Neal Shusterman books after this, though.
I definitely want to.
I do have Dry. I have Dry, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, you should.
Maybe you should. It's very good.
I do need to get to it, because I've had that one longer than I've had the Scythe series. And you'd think, it being a standalone, I would have picked it up sooner, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't know.
You definitely should. I want to get it. I'm just going to read everything he's written now. He's so good.
Yeah.
There's another series he's got, and I want to read that one next. I can't remember what it's called, though. Yeah, it's like on my Amazon wish list. It's like a series of like 5 books or something, I think.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
I thought he had a duology as well, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'll see if I can get my laptop to tell me what the actual series is called.
And are they all kind of dystopian or sci-fi, or?
I think they're meant to all be dystopian. It seems like his kind of go-to is dystopian story.
Yeah.
But I like dystopian anyway.
I love it. Love it.
We don't have enough new dystopians either. Like, you get the odd one.
They all came out at the same time. All like Divergent, The Hunger Games, The Maze Runner. They were all just together. And now it's like, oh, there's none left anymore.
Like, I want some new ones, please.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll come back. Surely it has to come back.
Yeah.
I hope so. That was the greatest time when they were all out. Everyone was just reading them.
Yeah, I don't know what his other series.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find his other series.
Let's see.
I think it's the ones that are like unwinding things. I think there's 5 of them in total.
Unwind, yeah, that's the one I had in my head. I don't know why I thought that was a duology.
I thought it was 5.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, the Unwind. The Unwind is called the Unwind Dystology. It looks like there's 4 books in that series.
Dystology.
Yeah.
Maybe I just heard that and heard duology.
I don't know if you can.
No.
It's the Unwind Dystology. There's 4 books, but then there's also a 1.5 and a 4.5.
Oh, okay.
I think that's maybe what I'm thinking. 5. Put the 2.5s together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to read that maybe next.
Yeah.
Also, hi, Ty.
Oh, I didn't see him there.
He appeared.
Aww. He's so cute.
But yeah, definitely want to give some more of his books a go, because especially if they're as clever as this, because like I've never been so like impressed by how clever a book is.
Yeah, it was so
like there were so many things in this.
Yeah, constant like twists and turns. I loved it.
Yeah,
I feel like now you also got a bit bored of something new had happened to keep you more interested again, and I really like.
I don't think I was ever bored at any part of the 3 books. Like, even the slower parts, I was not bored. I was just
well, I mean, let's be honest here, I was not a fan of book 2. So, like, for me...
That was mostly for Grayson, though. You weren't a fan of Grayson. Like, if you'd taken out Grayson of that second book, you probably would have liked it more.
If we had Grayson from book 3 as the same person as Grayson book 2, I probably would have liked it a lot more.
Yeah.
But
the character development, you went from not liking the character to liking the character.
Actually, I went from not liking the character to liking the character to not liking the character to liking the character. So it's been a bit of an up and down bumpy road for me with me and Grayson. But it makes me scared, because if they do the film, because it does actually have a producer and things already lined up for it. Brilliant. So when they do the film, when they get to Grayson, am I going to hate Grayson as much in the film? That's going to be painful. As well, though. Yeah. Because that would just be really painful for me. I would just be there like, not again.
See, I'm still torn about whether I do want the film to happen, because even though it has got a producer on that, it still might not happen. There's still an opportunity for something to go wrong and it doesn't happen, and I'm still unsure whether I want it to go ahead or not.
I'm the same. I'm always like that with any book I like, though. Part of me wants to see it on screen, but I just don't want them to ruin it.
There's been so many book to film adaptations that they've just ruined.
Yeah. And for me, I don't need the book first, so.
See, I have to.
I always read the book first.
That's how they all come out bad for you.
I haven't seen
if you watch the film yet. If you watch the film, you like it, you can read the book and find out more about the world, and then you like a lot more, you can appreciate it.
No, but my reasoning is that if I read the book, it will take hours to read the book and then only a couple of hours to watch the film. And, I haven't got to focus as much on the film. Whereas if I watch the film and then I try and read the book, I can't focus on the book because I'm constantly picking at stuff and end up DNF in the book. I can't do it. So I have to read the book first, otherwise.
Yeah, I much prefer reading it
first. If I read the book first and then watch a film, I tend to not like the film. But if I watch the film first and then read the book, I tend to like it a lot more.
I would just prefer the movie to be ruined for me than the book. So I'm always going to read the book first.
I'm the other way around. I'm like, I'd rather watch a film, and if I like it, I can read the books and find out more about the world and more characters, everything like that. Whereas if I do it the other way around, I just get so disappointed by everything. So I'm like,
I finished reading Dune, and I haven't seen the new movie, so I'm scared. But
I've seen the new film. Yeah, it's slow, but it's good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah. See, I want to watch the film, but I'm also like, if I watch the film, then I'm not going to read the book. So I need to decide whether I want to give the book a go first.
I wasn't a big fan, but
the film's quite slow, but
so is the book.
I was going to say the book tempo is quite slow, so it matches. But it's more the fact that you're getting all the world building and all the background in the first Dune film, and it's only part 1. So you have part 2 coming out in 2023.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
So I feel like it's a long wait to get a part 2 of the first film. That's okay. I don't know why you're not making that next year, but sure, why not make it long? But I did like the film overall for Dune. So
okay.
And I've also got the original Dune film as well. So like the one from the, I was going to say 80s, but I don't think it is 80s.
I didn't even know there was another one.
No, I was about to say that. I was like, what?
No, there's an older one. It's just like who's in it? My brain's like telling me who's in it, but the rest of my body is like, no, we're not going to tell you. Like,
I hate that. That's so frustrating. And then you have to go to IMDb to figure it out.
Yeah.
I know who's in it. Why can't I think who it is?
Oh no.
So what were your overall thoughts of the whole trilogy?
I just really enjoyed all of it.
Amazing. Absolutely loved it.
Like, even the books that I didn't love as much, I still loved.
Yeah.
Like, it was a 5-star series for me, which after all of the mixed reviews I've seen over the years, and like some people hate Thunderhead, love Toll, or love Thunderhead, or vice versa. And I was like, I don't know, like, I'm scared to read them.
Things about it.
I
always heard positive.
I don't
a lot
understand
of people don't like the ending.
Really?
I don't understand the hate for the end of the Toll, because I thought it ended up really wrapped up quite nicely.
I loved it, yeah.
So did I. And obviously there are still the questions unanswered, like, well, what's going to happen when the spaceships, you know, if the spaceships get to wherever they need to go. But they're the sort of unanswered questions that are okay, because you can sort of like decide yourself how you want it to be.
Yeah, and he might, you know, it leaves it open if he does ever want to write another book. He probably won't, but if he does, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he said he only ever thought of it as a trilogy, and now he's writing a book 4, so...
But is it a book 4, or is it just like short stories?
Apparently he has loads of small stories already done, but he's wanting to find out what the fans want. So he's going off of what the fans are wanting.
Just more in general.
Just more.
Just more. Just everything more.
More of everything.
I got really confused though at the beginning of the Toll between the timelines.
Oh my god, yes.
I was so confused.
I was like, I forgot it kept going back and forth, and there was no clear thing to say it was going back and forth. And it would take weird. Half a chapter till I realised, oh, this has gone back or this has gone forward. I was like,
there should have been something at the chapters, like at the start of the chapters.
I love the fact that that's like a key thing, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Also,
I don't know why I never wrote that down, because I talked about that in my vlog where I finished it. And in my wrap up, I talked about how like the timeline really messed with my brain.
It just wasn't clear.
Like, I understand why it was done like that, but it should have been a bit clearer on when was what happening.
I was getting so confused about when was when. Like, are we in the past, future, in the middle?
Yeah. Then it'd say like 2 years later, and I'm like, what the?
When the hell are we?
Time jump.
Where are we in the story? Just tell me tell me when.
So confusing.
Yeah.
I still can't believe Stitcher and Rowan were gone for 3 years. Like,
I know, because that's what we talked about with Thunderhead, like how long would be gone for, essentially.
Well, so apparently no time at all by the seams of this timeline. Like, we're the whole time, but also none of the time. But the fact that Goddard was like, you're not getting anywhere near the site, so you're not able to dig anything up. I was like, oh, okay. But then as soon as it came to the actual... But then as soon as it came to the part where he was like, they had the diamonds like for the ring, he was like all interested again, and I was like, do that. And then he threw them all into the water again, and I was like, oh, okay.
The thing is, he didn't want anyone to, because whoever has the diamonds has control of how many scythes can be made, and he wanted to have full control.
Yeah, but then he got rid of them all. He put them back in the bloody water.
Because it meant he had control. He still had control of that situation. And this is Goddard. You know he was a control freak.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't get why he just put them all back in the water, though. Like, he was like, yeah, I want them all. Okay, bye, though. I was like, okay.
I kind of do get it. Like...
I thought he would want them all so he can make the scythes himself when it gets older, but he just got rid of essentially all the stuff, and I was like,
I don't even remember him doing that.
He just poured them all away. He was just like, no, bye, and I was like,
not that it mattered by the end anyway, because the rings were no more.
Oh, I'm gonna so miss this trilogy.
Me too.
I'm so glad we decided to do this, because it's been so much fun.
And it's been sitting on my shelf for so long. The whole trilogy, like I've had it for ages and just haven't read it.
I had it for like 3 months or something before I was like, guys.
Like, I know I read Scythe before yous, and then we decided to do this. But like, if we weren't doing this, then I wouldn't have had anything to like prompt me to actually continue a series, because I'm terrible at continuing series, even if I've really enjoyed the first book. I'm really bad at continuing.
Pick up book 2 straight away?
To be fair, the only reason I didn't pick up book 2, because then we had the conversation that we were going to do the read along, so I was like, right, I have to wait for book 2 now, but only for a couple of months. It's fine.
But we did get through it. I honestly don't know whether I would have read book 3 without the read along though.
Really?
Yeah, after book 2, I don't know whether I would have finished it.
You would have.
Part of me probably would have, but I probably would have given it a big long break, because book 2 is just not me, except for the last like 30 pages. Like the last 30 pages of the book.
Well, you gave it 4 stars. That's not bad.
Yeah, but it was close to getting a 2 stars for half the book. And then it was going to be a 3 after like a while, and it was only the ending that gave it a 4. So like, was not getting along with it. It was primarily a 2-star book for most part.
Oh my god, I can't believe that, because I really loved it.
It was not.
And then there's me who 5-starred them all.
But that's it though, because everyone is like, the Toll is the worst book, and I preferred that to Thunderhead.
No, I preferred it.
Well.
Yeah, definitely.
Me and Thunderhead didn't get along, but I got on with book 1 and 3. So maybe it was just book 2 syndrome. Like,
middle book syndrome.
It did feel a bit like a filler book, to be fair.
It did.
But I think it was a necessary filler. That was really hard to necessary.
You needed book 2 for book 3 in the Toll.
We did.
But doesn't like racing, and he was like the main person in it. So,
but I also feel really like we needed that.
He's like one of the main characters in the Toll. Like, you see so much of him, and I liked him then. I
feel like we needed that background from Grayson though. As much as you didn't like it, it was a necessary one. Scythe was my favourite.
So as you can tell, I loved Grayson in book 2, but we loved him more in book 3. No, I liked him in book 3. Book 3, Grayson was good.
Any plans for another read along?
We have a book club that is going to be announced next month.
Yep.
And I'm so excited, because I love the fact that I messaged both Rachel and Becca yesterday, I think it was, and I was like, guys, what am I going to do for 2 months? I'm going to miss you too. Like, it's been like 3 months of just constant.
Yeah.
Been there. I'm going to miss you in November and December. Like December, January. It's going to be But then we'll have live shows again from February.
I know, it's exactly.
I'm excited. And
it's going to be so fun.
For the book club, I've already got all of my yearbook plans sorted. I've chosen every book for the year so far. So.
Okay, well, this is news to us too as well.
I've chosen them all. But like, I've not chosen, obviously, your books, but like all my choices, I've chosen them all. So,
fair play.
So unless it changes, like for one of them, which is one of them is one that I'm thinking of, but maybe I'll change it. Depends how I feel about closer to time. But the other 3 are set in stone for me.
Oh, okay. Nice. I'm curious now.
And I get the Halloween book, and I know the exact Halloween book we're reading. So,
like, I get the Christmas book, and I have no idea yet.
And Rachel does have Valentine's Day, but she's not chose a Valentine's Day book. So
I know. Maybe
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I hate Valentine's Day.
That's fair.
But yeah, we've got the book club coming up, and I'm so excited.
Ooh, it's gonna be so good.
I'm excited to film the announcement for it, and for us to post about it.
I love the fact I did have it announced, and I had it ready, and I was like, oh yeah. Did not bother to say whether any live shows would be, or really anything. So I'm gonna have to do that again. But yeah, I'm excited. The first book is my choice, for anyone who's wondering, so it will be on my channel.
I mean, it was technically your idea, so it made sense for you to get first choice.
Definitely.
I think it was my idea for the Scythe along as well. I'm just like, I'm not
you as the one was like, oh, Becca's really enjoyed it. Should we do a read along? It was like, yeah, go on then. Like, okay.
To be fair, we were talking about it on one of my reading sprints where Becca had read it and she liked it, and then me and Rachel hadn't read it yet, so it just made sense. But it's been so much more fun than I thought it would be, actually, posting these.
Yeah,
so
it's so much fun.
I've loved it.
Yeah.
So
it has
also,
been real.
if anyone has noticed, Rachel's hasn't at all blipped today.
I know! Yay! Oh my god! I'm so surprised.
Your internet cooperated.
Thank
God. It was like
like
you're in charge tonight. We need to let her have charge.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
But I've loved that so much.
Oh, me too.
It has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm excited for it as well, but at the same time, because I have my TBR game from February, like, because I take January off, so I've only got 2 books. I've got a different read along I'm doing, and then the book club. So I get a nice little start way into it before everything starts going very downhill very fast. Knowing me, I'm not going to get any of the books I read into my TBR, and I'm like,
now, be optimistic.
Exactly. Stay positive.
It's not going to happen. I might get 1. We're not getting 2. Every month we're getting 2. I don't think so. I don't think I'm that lucky.
1 is better than none.
That is true.
I also
optimistic.
That. I'm not too optimistic about my chances. I'm like, maybe I'll get 50%, and then have punishments for the rest of the year till I'm on like, you need 20 books, and I'll be like, no, I don't want 20 books. We'll cry. But yeah, it's been so good.
It's been really good. Right, it's over an hour. That was really fast.
Yeah.
Right, well, I think we'll end it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching. And we'll definitely have our announcement videos up for the next read along. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
First week of December.
Yes, the first weekend of December. So it's
the 3rd?
I was going to say, I think it's the 3rd.
Is it? I think
30th is a Tuesday. And
the Saturday is the 4th.
So it'll be, it's the 3rd because I'm announcing on the Friday.
Friday 3rd, yes. Cool.
That was right, the 3rd. Yeah. I didn't get anything right.
Aww. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Aww.
But yeah, we hope you can join along with the book club as well.
Yes, definitely do. Aww. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.